Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome to Thursday, March 19th. I hope that this market doesn't have you too upset and the virus doesn't have you freaking out all over the place. Let's keep our fears calm and try to work through this thing together. So, hey, I'm glad you're with us today as we get ready to talk to Dave, and we'll talk about jobs today because that'll come out. That's pretty important. And not much on the earnings front now, but we'll talk, I'm sure, more about the virus and looking forward to that conversation with Dave here in just a few minutes. Just want to make sure that you are aware that we're here. I'm here if you need anything, if you need to just talk to somebody about what's happening in the marketplace. We're here for you. 863-382-0037. So call, schedule a call. Love to chat with you about what's going on and how we may be able to help you. So, hey, Dave will be with us. Hold tight.
That's 840 from 105.7 Light FM. Let's check in on your money on Wall Street. I know you still have some left, but a whole lot of us have taken our money out of equities, which is a pretty smart thing on the short term. Anyway, let's go downtown and check out with Statler Financial Services, where Phillip Statler's standing by this morning. Phillip, I had no idea there were that many bartenders in the country.
Well, I don't think it's just bartenders. It's probably wait staff too. The whole restaurant industry is getting hammered, as well as retail. I saw a list today scrolling across my TV of all the stores that are closing right now.
Yep. The flip remark that we're getting into is the weekly jobless claims came out, a usual Thursday event, and it was last week's numbers, not this week, with a whole bunch of other shutdowns that we're hearing about. But the number of first-time jobless claims bumped upward by 70,000 people all in 1 week. 281,000 first-time jobless claims, and obviously I'm in gallows humor mode here, because the first items that got shut down were food service and beverage service, so hence the reaction. I didn't know there were that many bartenders in the world, but that's just the beginning of the iceberg, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is. Then you add retail on top of that, and then now we got Ford and GM and Fiat, Chrysler, all closing their manufacturing plants. And, this is going to still get uglier before it gets prettier.
I believe so. Yeah, the largest operator of shopping malls in the country announced that they were going to close the malls to go along with a few of the anchor store businesses, closing their stores as well. We've got we're heading in the direction of that total lockdown that a lot of us were afraid of at the beginning of this mess.
Well, that's true. I think that we're going to start to see that as that's the only way, Dave, if you think about it, that's the only way to keep people from getting out of their house, right? Is if there's a store to go to, what are they going to do? They're going to go to the store and go shopping because they get pent up and they get tired of sitting at home. And so the only way to cut that out is to close the stores, close the restaurants, close the beaches, and I think that's what they're trying to do.
Absolutely. And your point is taken as far as human nature is concerned. If there's something open, there are going to be a few people who, without the necessity to, and I always exclude, if you've got a need, that's different. But, without a necessity, there's going to be a few idiots that are going to go out just to experience the rush. Kid on spring break on Clearwater Beach on the television last night said, "Hey, man, I might get sick, but I'm not going to stop partying, man." Sorry, son, you might have to stop partying if you get the bug, because you may very well get thrown for a loop. I mean, the idiot percentage in our population is kind of spoiling it for everybody.
Yeah, it is. If we would just use some common sense and stay, apart from people and let this thing pass through, and I think that would be helpful. But you know what? Human nature doesn't always work that way.
Yeah, absolutely. I've always said collectively the human IQ becomes subtractive instead of additive. Setting the table yesterday, the word bloodbath I'm going to reserve for the really bad days. Yesterday was just crapola. The Dow was down 1,300 odd points yesterday. NASDAQ down another 344. Standard & Poor's down another 131. The real headline news to the thing is that the Dow dipped under 20,000 and that gets us basically wiping out 3 years plus of gains in the market.
Yeah, it does. And so, yeah, I didn't get a chance to run the numbers to see exactly where we are year to date. Um, but I know that we are, if you look at the last 12 months, we're negative from that standpoint. And so I know we're negative year to date without any issues there. So, but how long will this last? When are we going to see some certainty back into the marketplace? That to me is the key. If we shut everything down for 30 days, that's going to hurt the economy. Don't get me wrong. But if it brings some certainty to people that, hey, this is what we got to do to get through this, and at the end of that 30 days, we'll bring back some normalcy, then I would think you would see this thing. I mean, you're going to see a dive, but you would see people a little bit more proactive in managing their state.
Perhaps a fast dive and a fast recovery would be improved over water torture, which is kind of the way we managed the Great Recession. We had such a doggone long recovery back up to where we were or would have been had the curve continued. And it was largely because we didn't do some of the more draconian economic things that maybe would have been smarter. Well, this is a completely different breed of cats, but on the health concern scare, you may very well have a point that just getting it the heck over with and then coming back stronger might not be the worst of all the strategies.
Yeah, and unfortunately, I'm starting to see headlines from economists and analysts that I follow quite readily, bringing up that not just the R word, but the D word for depression, and that's a little scary right now. But given the circumstances, and if you close the whole country down, I mean, you have to think that you're going to be more than just in a recession for a short period of time.
Absolutely. The question is length more than anything else. There's no doubt whatsoever that we're getting into a substantial economic pullback. The question is whether or not it does serious damage. Question, where is the money going? Because I noticed that bond rates are actually recovering in the process. Commodities are, for the most part, not in good shape, although there was a recovery on oil. Are folks just taking their money out and stuffing it in a mattress someplace?
No, I think you're seeing the value lose. Yeah, I mean, I think they're going to short-term treasuries. I think they're going to cash, money market accounts. Um, at this point, they're just fearful of what all that means, and so I think we're seeing a lot of people not necessarily going to the bank cash, but going to the money market accounts and holding up there for a little while to see what's happening.
Yeah, the confusing part is normally when the market tanks on the equities side, you end up seeing the 10-year and the 30-year Treasury notes going down in yield because people are buying them. Interest rates actually recovering a little bit on that front. I do notice that the 3-month note is down to only 0.16%, which says I know where some of the money is going anyway.
Yeah, it's going into short term. And here's the other thing you have to remember, Dave, is that you got the Fed pumping money in. So that's going to help kind of keep those interest rates up too, because they're coming in and being a buyer.
That's true. That's true. It's all the normal rules of thumb are kind of going out the commode at the moment, simply on the grounds that we've never encountered anything quite like this, at the very least in any of our memories.
Yeah. Hey, I just got a thing come across my screen. Kentucky, 99 cents a gallon gasoline.
Wowzers. Yeah, I know we were under 2 in a couple of places in Highlands County yesterday. We could see $1 a gallon gas before long here. We're generally on the low end of the national scale, so it'll hit. I did notice that petroleum prices were recovering a little bit. Does that mean you've heard any news that Russia and Saudi Arabia are patching up their differences?
I have not heard that.
It's still dirtbag cheap,
oh,
but it
yeah.
was up 8%. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, let's quantify it for the moment because we really haven't got any serious financial news that's out there. It's mostly the skitters over this. The analysts that I'm reading are saying basically we won't see a turn on Wall Street until they're actually able to come up with a containment strategy that works, which is what you and I have been talking about, or I'm losing the word.
Vaccine?
The vaccine, that's it. it's called brain flatulence, but or they announce a vaccine, and those are all still in developmental phases. I'm not sure which I want to see more at the moment, but at the very least, we need something that can encourage Wall Street that we're improving a little bit. 6.5% down on the Dow yesterday, 4.7% down on the Nasdaq, and 5 2/10 down on the Standard and Poor's. And looks like the cord's being pulled again on the commode this morning. 45 minutes before we start selling stuff. Where are we going?
Yeah, we've seen the futures go up. We've seen them go down this morning. We go back up, go down. They are still down, but they have improved from when you and I first went on the radio this morning. So we've got the Dow down 1.4% right now. That's $272. S&P 500 is down a little over 1.5%. That's $37. And we've got the Nasdaq, the best of all, down at 0.8%, $56. So everything is red from that standpoint. We do have some green on the commodity side. Silver's up 1.4% to $11.94 an ounce. We've got gold basically down 0.25%, and crude oil, like you said, is heading back up 8% this morning, $22.52 a barrel.
I was just saying the $22 range is a big increase, but it's still way down to gut bucket low prices. World markets kind of completing the sweep here. They're all negative. Asian markets closed between 1 and 2.5% down early this morning. Europe is following suit, but they're also following us a little bit because I'm seeing them improving a bit. British markets down by about 1.7%. German markets are down now by under 1%, which is an improvement from only 15, 20 minutes ago as well. Phillip, this takes advice. This takes calm, and we could use some from an advisor with your interests at heart. Phillip, how do I get a hold of you to get those interests?
Devin, give us a call at 863-382-0037. Catch our website, statlerfinancial.com. Hey, follow us on Facebook where we repost your and my conversation every morning on Facebook at Statler Financial Services. Like our page there. And then catch us every weekend for the Statler Financial Radio Show, 6 a.m. and noon on Saturdays, 10 a.m. on Sunday mornings on your sister station, News Talk 730 a.m.
All right, and back tomorrow morning. We're hoping with better news. Anyway, same time here on Light FM. Phillip, thank you so much. May it be a calm day around your place.
All right, man. You have a great day. I look forward to talking to you again tomorrow.
Thank you, my friend. It's 105.7 Light FM and Statler Financial Services, Phillip Statler.
Folks, during these trying times, that's what you need an anchor for. That's what we're here for, to help anchor you as we look at the fear that is spreading throughout our community. We're here for you. Give us a call, 863-382-0037. Let us help calm and walk you through the process. Take care. I'll talk to you again tomorrow.